Alright guys, changing the saddle on the Stigmata today. Going with a specialized Toupe or Toupe or whatever you want to call it. And package arrived from Bicicleta, and we are going to open this guy up and check things out. Alright, so the box is open from these guys. And let's see what we got. Some paper, an invoice, which no one needs to see. Packed by Daniel. That's kind of a cool little feature. That's really cool. And then the saddle itself, body geometry, Toupe Expert Gel. So we are going to get this guy pulled out and take a look. So before getting into this, big thanks to Bicicleta out of Burnaby, Canada, in British Columbia. It's these personal touches that I really dig. Your order's packed by Daniel. Little smiley face, that's awesome. And then when I'm getting this guy, it is pretty close to the Christmas season here, so a couple candy canes, it doesn't hurt anybody. It gives you that little extra sugar rush to go mount this guy up and get on the trainer and burn him off. So appreciate it, guys. That's a nice little add-on. Here's the tag itself: specialized body geometry, ergonomically designed and scientifically tested. Take that with a grain of salt, it is specialized. Toupe Expert Gel. And then the saddle weight, 221 grams, with the width at 143. And then down below that, we can see that it has a padding level of 1. I have no clue what 1 and likely 5 or 7 or whatever the highest means. I'm assuming 1 means not a lot of padding. And then hollow titanium rail material. And that's about it for the front. For all you guys that want the actual SKU, there it is, if you want to throw that in Amazon or something, and I'm sure you can locally track it down. Here is a quick overview of the hand-foot sit-fit that they're advertising on the back of the package. So basically, they're talking about the personalized groove on your soft tissue, aka your cock. Don't want that to be getting annoyed. And then obviously personalized sizing, utilizing saddle width measurements, blah, 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 consult the bike shop. So my understanding is that they actually measure you with a tool in shops and then make a personalized recommendation on the saddle. Like anything, it's just a marketing ploy to get you to buy one of their saddles over something else, but take that for what it is. So as we can see here, there's a specialized logo embossed on the top and then some venting on the saddle itself. The titanium rail is hollow to reduce weight. We've got some nice engraving on the saddle itself with the Toupe logo on the front. And then we can see that it has the body geometry specialized logo next to some perforations beside the channel itself. Just little subtle touches that kind of bring this guy home a little bit. Now, I don't know how important this is to you guys, but it is worth noting that the perforations in the top of the saddle here is not symmetrical. So I don't know how should I say this? I don't know how usable those are, or if they're just like a decoy just for keeping it dry if it rains kind of thing, but take that for what it is. This channel itself is one of the main reasons that I got the saddle, is that I had been getting some pressure from my WTB seat. So I decided to move to this guy in order to get a little bit of pressure relief. While not going too crazy on the width, I did go with the 143 mil version. And then it is available in 155, I believe. So if you do have a bit wider of a sit bone. And then the saddle profile itself is quite flat. So that will really help a guy like me figure out what I like from a saddle itself. So as we can see on the back of the saddle itself, we have a specialized logo in addition to those titanium rails that we talked about earlier, and then the channel right in the middle here. Now, Specialized is saying that the back of this is in fact carbon reinforced. I don't know if it actually is, or if there's a claim around carbon itself. They have to use X percentage to use that term. To me, it feels like a composite plastic, but 221 gram saddle, it is very, very light. So that is what it is. It seems very stiff and should be very responsive on the bike. Now, if we look at the profile of the saddle itself, it is very, very flat. This was the main attraction for me to this saddle, like I said. After watching a ton of videos on saddle fitment and trying to diagnose the problems that I think that I am having, I decided one of the best ways for me to try out some fit is to go back to basics, get a bike with the channel in it, and with a relatively flat profile, which is exactly this. And there's a reason why there's a ton of other saddles out there that actually do in fact copy this. Pro comes to mind, they have one, as well as a Bontrager saddle. So very, very common profile, very flat, very lightweight, and a good price point means that this one should be a home run. So let's get it on the bike and check it out. So it's important when you're looking at your two saddles that you are replacing just to get a general feel of the difference between the two. In this case, the saddle on the right, which I'm putting on here, is in fact a little bit lower in the back. So do the adjustments accordingly. It looks like it's about 5-ish mils shallower. So I may have to raise the seat post just a smidge to kind of make up for that difference. But a good starting point is obviously your old seat height, plus or minus the variances, and keep that puppy level. All right, so we've got the saddle mounted on my 2021 Santa Cruz Stigmata now. The first thing that I did was do the adjustments and measure the saddle itself as being a little more shallow because it does have a little less padding. And then I used a level like that on the back of it. So the two highest points typically are what you use to measure it. So I use that to make sure that it is level. To start things off, I typically put the saddle right in the middle of the range, and that is why I actually go to a level. That's why I use a level to actually measure the saddle itself, because if you are to one end or the other on the rails, typically the saddle will flex and throw the level off. So this is a good starting point. I'm at the same point of where I left the last saddle off, and I'm ready to go for my first ride. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm going to go for my first ride on this guy and check it out, and probably go on a Zwift race, and that'll be that. So appreciate it, and if you have any questions, leave them below. Otherwise, I will chat with you guys later. Peace.